The birail tool is a little trickier to learn than the loft tool, but it's a time saver once you get the hang of it. It works much like the interactive birail, except that you set up your two rail curves in advance. Here we've set up a profile curve to be swept along these rail curves. We'll select the profile curve and then the birail tool. We're then prompted to select two rail curves. Placement and rotation of the rail curves is the trick to using the birail tool. Right-click the object to enter birail edit. Click a rail curve to select it, then right-click it again to enter curve edit. The control point that you see selected when entering curve edit mode is the first point of the curve and the start point of the sweep. Notice that these rails have the first point on the same end, otherwise the object would be twisted like a pretzel. We use the object tools to move and rotate the rail curves to scale and shape the object. Don't forget that you can use the Z, X, and C shortcut keys. And remember to drag the cursor in the workspace, not in the try panel. Moving the profile curve has no effect. You're able to fully rotate the rail curves and can actually create an entirely different object through rail curve rotation and placement. Now we'll load the scene birail squared, and we'll show you another application of the birail tool. Here I've copied and mirrored our previous object after converting it to a plane patch. We'll explain construction history and plane patches in the next lesson. Here we've snapped the grid to precisely align the two objects. Let's enter edit mode again to select curves to store into the curve library. We'll store these four, then add copies back into the scene. Here are our copies. Next, we'll place a couple of profile curves to use to fill in the object with geometry. I'm right-clicking the birail icon to bring up its properties dialog. Setting the tolerance to a lower number will produce a more detailed patch. Do this when you encounter gaps while doing this type of operation. Use the birail tool and glue all the pieces together to form a fairly complex surface rather quickly. This example is more of a doodle than a real-world object, but it gets the idea across. In addition to creating surface components, use the birail tool to model complete objects. Here we'll make a handle grip from three simple curves. You'll recognize the first one. We've used it several times. I just edited the end of it and combined it with an S-shaped curve and a 3-point smooth polygon. This object demonstrates how you could use the birail curve edit tools to draw an object's profile in 3D. For review, we'll edit the shape slightly. Let's insert a new control point for detail and move it a bit to give the object a skinny neck. And here you see how the top points of the two rail curves can be aligned with one another to complete the end of the object. Generally, you want to place the control handles of each end in a straight line with each other. You can imagine this simple model as the beginnings of a character, as it seems to be taking on the appearance of an ant.